So I want to talk to the good guys for a second. You know the good guys. I'm a black activist. I'm working on the behalf of women. I'm doing this for immigrants, gays and lesbians alike. We've often allied. We've often helped each other. We've often fought the same masters for basic rights. But be warned that once you become in power, to use government as a bludgeon is as evil as the masters before you.
This is a certified hood classic.
Hey, yo, sound check, C.I.P. Can you hear me out there? What's up, my people? Let me get a one in the chat. Let's see here. Yep. I can hear myself. So, looks like we are good to go this evening. So, C.I.P. everybody. That is what's up in patois. What's up to my beautiful people from all corners of the world. Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Culture, and this is Culture Invasion. Welcome to the Your Feelings Don't Matter series. And tonight we're talking about you. Not you. You. Yeah. You over there. Yeah, you a big piece of shit. It's time to raise the bar. So tonight we got a little bit of instruction on how not to be like you. And I'm sure there's many of you out there cloud watching, trying to figure out, is it me? Am I the one? Am I the one that you talking about? Don't worry. We'll get to the specifics as we go on. As always, I like to start out with the meet and greets. Make sure that everybody that's in the chat and starts the show early with me gets represented. Godflow, Josh Washington, Watson, I see y'all out there. And I'm sure we got some cloud watchers. So if you are out there, please, by all means, hit the like button. You're spending your time here. I promise to bring you some quality philosophy and personal thought, as well as a little bit of entertainment in there. And hopefully give you something to walk away with and go out into the world and spread knowledge or use as ammunition for a good purpose. Tonight, I'm bringing personal nuggets of philosophy, like I said. Basically, bringing some thought on what I observe and find interesting or irritating, as it may be. And all the while attacking problems and behaviors that we may never have answers or solutions to. We may never have answers to this stuff. But ultimately, I'm here to share it with you for knowledge, perspective, and a few laughs along the way. Because at my age, I've learned I absolutely love trolling humanity at their worst. And I get great pleasure out of it. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I'm a little bit of a misanthrope. But I mean, we're gonna talk about the way that we're gonna talk about my perspective on people just constantly hitting themselves in the head, doing dumb shit. Throughout their entire lives. But yeah, we'll get to that a little bit further in my perspective on it. But, whatever way I see fit, I troll. And I'm going to troll. And I'm going to shame. And I'm going to stand on my little soapbox and point at you and laugh. Because people don't do it enough. We've gotten too soft as a society. And with that, we've allowed a lot of fuckery to develop. We've allowed a lot of unchecked fuckery to spur out of hand. And we've allowed a lot of fuckery to affect not only our society, but the most precious members of our society, our children. So we're going to talk about that too. So take a moment with me here. All right. A lot of people don't use their imaginations. So I'm going to build a little bit of a lesson for those in the in my audience, in my listening audience, that never used their imagination or haven't in a while, have completely forgotten that they've got a fucking imagination. All right? So pause for a moment while we're here together this evening. Pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Okay? Now imagine yourself, you're seated at a small table in a room. There's a stack of paper in front of you and a box of crayons. You're in a room. You're sitting at a table, right? Could be any size table. Could be a beautiful wooden carved ornate table with high back chairs, leather bound seats. Okay. In front of you is a stack of paper. It could be parchment. It could be normal lined notebook paper in whatever size you prefer. Sitting next to that stack of paper is a box of crayons. What's the first thought that comes into your mind? What's your first reaction to seeing, that stack of paper and those crayons? I see myself folding the pages together in what would look like a little book. And then on the corner of one of the pages, draw a stick figure. And then turn the page and draw the stick figure in a little bit of a different position. And then turn the pages and then a little more of a position. And then as you start from the beginning and you flip through those pages, my little stick figure is running across the bottom of the page. So if I had some crayons and I had some paper, I'm of the artistic mind to create a little animated flip book, just to goof off a little bit. Imagine a child sitting at that table. A stack of pristine white paper and a box of crayons. A child. Chances are you are going to have a table full of all kinds of drawings on almost every sheet of that paper. Sprawl drawings, imagination, just unorganized creativity. Conventional wisdom teaches us that children rarely are limited to the amount they rarely limit themselves to an amount of creative space to perfect or improve something. They rarely do that. You rarely find a child that has that focus to improve something on something or to perfect something before they want to move on or explore the next event, the next exciting thing in their lives. They usually run off in an unguided direction, requiring adults, and somebody got to grab them, got to grab the kid, get the kid, what the kid doing, what the kid at. Where the baby on the highway that Carly was looking for, remember that? Where the kids at? You guys got to stay up with the kids. I took care of younger brothers and sisters for years. You have to give them instruction, a little bit of guidance. A little bit of guidance to complete the task at hand. Move on. And guidance turns into chores. You end up doing chores as you get older. You end up, perhaps, if you're lucky, you get your first little gig doing like a paper route. You get your first little gig being a little Girl Scout. You get your first little gig doing something with the church. And you gain even more responsibility and you know what it's like to complete something from start to finish. So these lessons of being guided and supervised create knowledge, create experience, and they create adversity, challenges, being exposed to the negatives in life. Nah, kid, I don't want your damn cookies. Getting a door slammed in your face. and being able to bounce back from those. But that also takes instruction. That also takes guidance. That also takes the covering and support of the parents, plural parents. Because if y'all haven't already listened to my other stuff, previous episodes, you already know what I think about baby mamas and baby daddies. We may get into that a little bit tonight. We may not, but I think I'm going to hit on enough of that. But anyway, knowledge, experience, and adversity. That's what builds us. That's what separates us from children. Hey, Queen, what's up? Death Mage, how y'all doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So what I want to share with you here tonight is going into examine what it looks like when individuals don't gain knowledge, don't gain experience, don't gain adversity, and run amok in our society. But in order to get to that point, I want y'all to know what it looks like from my perspective and the way that I see the repercussions of inaction in individuals' lives looks like, what I see from my perspective, the behaviors of individuals across not only day-to-day life, but the social media sphere and what they are pumping in the atmosphere out here as far as pop culture to our kids. So let's explore this a little bit here. Here we go. All right. The Ouroboros. I know y'all know what this is. The snake eating its tail. It's both in Egyptian history as well as throughout fiction, throughout all corners of the world. The Ouroboros is used as usually, and in most cases, a significant symbol for life and for the journey of life and enlightenment. Abrahamic religions, the serpent is always the bad, the devil, the demon, blah, 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 whatever. So we're not going to go into that. What we're looking at is we're looking at this as a symbol for society and certain segments of our society in particular, one of which I'm part of because, well, I have brown skin. So let me rewind back a little bit. I threw the Ouroboros out there, and I threw Arrested Development out there in my last stream, kind of talking about a parallel I found between AI, because that's what brought me to live streaming, was the AI revolution that is we are in the midst of. And I've always found a parallel between IT, computers, AIs, and things that we create in the human condition and or system. There is a current panic across the news media. If you pay attention, you will have heard it. As I said, AI is what brought me to live streaming. There is a current panic. Google's got AI, and Bing has AI, and Apple has AI, and Chinese put AI in robots at the latest Consumer Electronics Show, and AI is going to take your job, and if you're not up on AI right now, you about to fall behind. AI, AI, AI. Right? Here's the thing about AI. AI will be flawed because AI is created by humans. Everyone needs to take a step back. Cyberdyne Systems is not going online tomorrow. We are not in any danger, although there may be a shift economically where companies can implement AI in situations where lazy fucks just don't want to fucking work. And I'm all for that. I'm all for seeing those fucks get turned upside, their lives getting turned upside down, and them basically just evolutionarily being obliterated because they were too fucking stupid. But I'm all about humans advancing. So if you don't advance or you're not somebody who advances, this is not the channel for you. This is not the channel for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap something that I talked about on Tuesday regarding AI. And I talked about it in brief. What I mentioned was there is something happening in AI where the programming is not learning anything new. And the reason why I'm rewinding back and talking about this again is because I got some great feedback from my audience. I got some great feedback from some very close individuals that said, hey, take a step back for a second. I couldn't quite grasp what you were saying. I really wanted to get it because I knew it made sense, but it didn't quite snap. I didn't quite get it. The light bulb didn't quite turn on. So I wanted to come back to this again and use this as the basis for my discussion tonight. AI feedback loop. Okay. An Ouroboros. It's a feedback loop. It is not a snake moving forward through the jungle. It is a snake that has been entrapped upon itself and will die in the form that it is in. So AI is now trapped to a degree in a feedback loop or an Ouroboros of retraining itself on the same information over and over again. So people don't understand AIs just don't turn on and you just don't say, I got an AI in my pocket. It doesn't work that way. You don't just turn on, you don't download an AI, put it on your cell phone. I got an AI. AIs are trained like humans are trained. Okay, so this is where I draw my parallels. Follow me now. AIs are trained just like humans are trained. When I first started playing with AIs, I started playing with the most basic bitch versions. I started playing with graphical versions of AIs. I'm like, oh, look, I can type in an elf wearing a bathing suit, and I can get an elf wearing a bathing suit. And that's what most people are using it for these days anyway. The highbrow shit that I'm actually talking about here is what I look at as from a hobby perspective. But everybody that starts, oh, look, I can draw a picture with AI. Oh, look, I can ask AI to do my homework for me. Well, how is where my curiosities lie. Okay. And understanding how the AI spits out a pretty picture of an elf in a bathing suit with triple D tits. I'm also curious as to how AI knows your math problem, how AI knows higher math problems, how AI can spit out a grid of a racy matrix to help me with my job position in management. How I can have the AI just spit these things out when you ask it the proper questions. Business, education, research. I've always said, I've protested across social media, AI is just a competent, a knowledgeable, a competent, someone who is capable, a thing that is capable. It is a competent source of information. It is a competent librarian. A lot of people don't go to the libraries, never been to a library, don't even know what capacity a librarian can help them in life. But AI is a librarian, okay? Basic bitch 8th grade terms here. That's all AI is. So when they say AI is thinking about stuff, AI is not thinking about things. AI is a librarian walking down a row of fucking books and doing the work that you've never done in your life. So when AI trains on content, it's a child going to the library. Like I said, doing the work that you've probably never done. You, not you, but you. and it starts learning things from the books that it reads. Well, that's not realistic. The AI can't fucking walk. The AI has to be fed the data because the AI lives on the internet in the cloud, right? In the cloud, or it lays on some servers in some big corporation, the Google, the Apple, the Microsoft. So let's go through the article here. As people, we're just gonna read through the highlighted portions because this does get a little bit technical. This does get a little bit granular, but we're gonna read through just the highlighted pieces here. I'm gonna add a little commentary along the way, and I'm going to provide you with a little more perspective on why I find humanity and computers so similar. Now, as most people use AI to produce and publish content, an obvious question arises: what happens as AI-generated content proliferates around the internet? As we make more pictures. Remember I told you about the elf with the triple D tits and the bathing suit that the little 18-year-old guys are out here making all over fucking X or Twitter or whatever the hell it is, and Instagram. They're making damn near realistic AI models that look like real people. You've got everybody in every company trying to create data to use, have their AIs create data for them. But the problem is that data continues to go around the internet, especially if it's public facing. So the AI will see that and think that it's brand new, fresh information that I've never used before, when in fact, it is a distorted image. It is not a true photograph. It is not a true data set. It is not real news that was generated from a human with boots on the ground looking directly at the reporters that were gathering the data. This isn't human created information. So this is in a sense, Skynet becoming self-aware, right? Oh my God, when's it going to happen? This is in a sense, it reading its own information, talking to itself. So it basically fills the internet with blah. It starts filling our sources and everything that we're using with bogus information. It goes back over itself. All right? Like the snake eating its tail. And it starts feeding off of its own data. Nothing new. No new human content. No content from the outside world. No content from any community or thought. Bigger thought than what it's feeding on. Its own bullshit. So, Ted Chiang, acclaimed sci-fi author of Story of Your Life. That's the book that the movie Arrival was based on, inspired by. And he was a writer at Microsoft, recently published a piece in The New Yorker postulating that AI copies of copies would result in degrading quality. Another way to think of this is Multiplicity, starring Michael Keaton from 1996. All right? We're going to say that again. Multiplicity, starring Michael Keaton from 1996. Go watch it. Wherein a humble man clones himself and the clones of clones, each of which results in an exponentially decreasing level of intelligence and increasing stupidity. His clones, he kept cloning clones, and every time he cloned a clone, the next clone got more retarded. So, the belief is that when AI starts to degrade, it is when it goes through a feedback loop. It starts listening to its own voice to hear itself because it created the data and it knows that that data is right. That can also be translated to, you ain't gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me what to do. You ain't gonna tell me. Shout out to Messy Michonne. The pollution with AI generated data results in models or AI. A model is like a skyscraper. It's the heart of everything, the structure that is the AI. Gaining a distorted perception of reality. The pollution with AI generated data results in models gaining a distorted perception of reality. This pollution does that. So when you're in a feedback loop, again, the Ouroboros, you're in a feedback loop, you're just listening to yourself. You're not going to tell me you're polluted. You're polluted and retarded, in fact. Well, based on the AI and based on my personal belief of the correlation between the two. Even when researchers train the model not to produce too many repeating you're not going to tell me, 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 fuck you, you ain't going to tell me shit. Even when the researchers trained the models, how would you train you would tase a bitch? I don't know. When you train the models not to produce too many repeating responses. We're talking about the AI here. I'm sorry. I keep getting caught between the AI and the humanity piece of this. Pardon me. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. They found the model collapse still occurred. They even tried talking to it. AI Shaquita, please, don't collapse on yourself. Don't be a dumb bitch. Bitch ran off the fucking cliff anyway. Anyway, it's important to note that this phenomena is distinct from catastrophic forgetting, where models lose previously learned information, so as they keep the information. In contrast, the model collapse involves the model misinterpreting reality based on their reinforced beliefs. It is important to note that this phenomenon is distinct from catastrophic forgetting. So, bitch don't got a brain injury. She's just gotten to the point where she's misinterpreting reality and has created her own reality. We're just using women as an example because you niggas is dumb as fuck too. Anyway, the research behind this paper found that even if a 10% of the original human authored data is used to train the model in subsequent generations, model collapse still happens, just not as quickly. So I'm not going to go into language models much more. They did find a way to decrease the degradation by increasing new, clean, human-generated data sets back into the training. So you've got a generation of retarded AIs. You got a generation of retarded community. You got a generation of community, again, eating its own tail. The only way that you're going to fix that is by introducing new, clean information and knowledge. But that means you got to get through. You're not going to tell me. Fuck you talking about, nigga. You on unconscious shit, right? So let's continue here. Got a video for you. As usual, I have about 500 million girlfriends across the internet. This is one of my girlfriends. We're going to listen to her because she got big brains. Going to check out the big brains on her. And we're going to listen to a little bit about the Ouroboros. And we're going to take a little bit of a philosophy lesson here. But again, this is going to fit into the cultural narrative that I'm going to continue on talking about here. So let's drop down a little fair use banner on our girlfriend. There we go. All right, and this is from Chasing Gods on YouTube.
So God created man in his own image. Famous line. So God created man in his own image. Famous line in the Bible. Whether you're religious or not, whether God is a metaphor for nature or an actual entity, think of this. Now men are creating machines in their image. And if the machines start to know themselves, in other words, gain consciousness, that would make men the gods of the machines. That cycle is the Ouroboros. Hi guys, my name is Sandra and welcome to Chasing Gods. That was just one representation of the Ouroboros, a pretty deep one, I should say. We'll discuss more on that and how the Ouroboros model governs existence from microscopic to macroscopic entities. But first, let's talk about the origins, meanings, and usage of this rather inconspicuous symbol. The Ouroboros symbol is not as mainstream as the yin-yang or the cross, but it can still be found today. The Ouroboros can vary in style and shape, but generally it's characterized as a serpent or dragon eating its own tail, creating a circular shape. It's been given various meanings throughout history, but the most recurring concepts are eternal cycle, self-sufficiency, and unity of all things. The earliest record of the Ouroboros symbol was found in the enigmatic Book of the Netherworld, an ancient Egyptian funerary text dating back to around 1600 BC. According to academic Dana Reams, to the ancient Egyptians, the Ouroboros image was never a unique symbol with an idea attached to it, but rather a part of their language, a variant amongst related images that conveyed different things depending on the context. In some cases, it could denote the recurring solar year, and in others, it acted as a protective enclosure of a god, a deceased, or the cosmos. Also, the Egyptian snake didn't necessarily eat its tail. At times, the tail was just near the mouth, and at others, the tail was overlapping the head.
Yeah, I'm going to pause right there. That's something else that I've noticed about legend and history over time, and how humanity, again, we interpret things, right? How we use things and how we, I don't want to use the term manipulate, but how we fit things to tell a story, or, again, well, lack of a better word, fit a narrative. So it's interesting to watch that it, in some cases, the tale's connected, sometimes it's not.
Head. Its shape also varied depending on what it was englobing. One of the Egyptian creation myths tells how the world was conceived from a divine point, or an atom, appearing in a formless abyss. Its expansion, characterized by a great burst, would create the cosmos, a progressive differentiation of a divine substance. Very similar to the yin-yang creation theory, or today's Big Bang theory. The outward expansion from the point was symbolized by a spiraling serpent called Mehen, or the coiled one. The encapsulating snake acts as the membrane of the cosmos, symbolizing the furthest limit of an ordered world within the vast abyss of formlessness. A Norse mythology also used the snake to convey an ordered world. This monstrous snake encircled the entire globe with its tail in its mouth, and it was said that once he lets go, the world would collapse and everything would be wiped out, to renew once again by the repopulation from a couple of survivors.
Yeah,
Kind of
renewal.
like the Ark of Noah. The Norse called the
Yeah.
snake Jormungandr. The ancient Egyptians called theirs Sedme. The name Ouroboros was given by the Greeks and roughly means tail devouring. When the Greeks discovered the Egyptian tail-eating snake iconography, they incorporated it in their magical and alchemical texts, and its meaning would slightly diverge. In the Chrysophea alchemical text, the Ouroboros symbol was used to depict the interconnectedness of the cosmos, with a scripture in it saying, "All is one." And since it was used in all sorts of magical texts and black magic up until the 1800s, nowadays the Ouroboros is mainly adopted by esoteric and occult groups to mean various related ideas. Nevertheless, academics in biology, psychology, and philosophy did analyze the symbol and its concepts. For example, the highly praised philosopher Nietzsche writes on the eternal return, which speaks about the universe and all of its events constantly recurring for eternity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the return of the energy. All things are cyclical. Miss Queen, if you're out there, I'm sure you can agree to that as well. You'll drop some knowledge in the chat.
And we're just part of it. And to make amends to this horrifying reality, one needs to have amor fati, the love of fate. Carl Jung, the famous psychiatrist, considers the Ouroboros, which can also be expressed as two dragons or two animals, to be one of many archetypal images residing in our collective unconscious. In the Jungian psychoanalytic view, humanity from its conception shares a collective soul that contains recurring themes, which are represented consciously as universal symbols. This can be done through dreams, if you remember them. For example, the molecular structure of benzene was inspirationally revealed to Auguste Kekule when he dreamt of an Ouroboros. Jung's contribution to the knowledge of the Ouroboros has helped to solidify it as a discrete symbol. Now, academic journals of various fields use the term Ouroboros to explain its theories of self-sufficiency and ongoing cycle. With a theme as profound as the Ouroboros, it's only natural that it permeates popular culture. An underrated book series entitled The Warm Ouroboros was essentially the precursor of The Lord of the Rings, and as you would expect, pervades the idea of repetitive cycles. Okay, so we spoke enough about the history. Now let's get to the juicy stuff. Let's dissect the Ouroboros symbol and see how our world is governed by its principles. The Ouroboros is self-sufficient and eternally cyclical. Not only does the snake represent renewal because of its frequent skin shedding, but the closed loop also indicates an ongoing cycle with no beginning and no ending. And the snake eating its own tail shows that its weight.
Hi everyone, in this video.
So God created man in his own image.
Give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Whether you're religious.
My bad, y'all. All right, there we go. So yes, an ongoing cycle with no beginning and no end is where I wanted to pause that. Because even if we take markers in history, all right, I don't know why we need to do this. I don't know why when I get on when I'm sitting in the chat and just listening to these channels out here on YouTube, that everybody, I mean, shout out to Ed Brownsbird, shout out to Twin. All right. This guy went through 2 years ago and already called out where the fuckery exists in the community and where there is no progress in the discussions that take place on YouTube, because all you've done is you've taken the niggas out of the hood and you've put the niggas on YouTube. So when I sit in the comments and I'm listening to these conversations about what's going on in the community, everything always ends up breaking down to how do vaginas work and how do penises work and why can't vaginas and penises get together? Okay. So it gets a little frustrating. It gets a little confusing as to why anybody even bothers, to be honest with you. Why these people even bother? Why are you here? Oh, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's all about the grift. It's all about what you can hustle off your peers who are just as stupid as you. And I mean, that's just facts. So let's continue with this. We got a little bit more to discuss, and then I'm going to let everybody go for the evening. It won't be too long of a stream, but I've got plenty to drop on you, plenty of knowledge.
Represent renewal because of its frequent skin shedding, but the closed loop also indicates an ongoing cycle with no beginning and no ending. And the snake eating its own tail shows that
no evolution.
Its waste provide its food. It doesn't require any outside force.
Shit in, shit out, just like the ghetto.
We see this in all living things. From plants to human beings, the reproductive system is an ongoing loop. Reproduction is one form of cycle. There are various types, which we'll soon see. All is one. Like in the yin-yang philosophy, the circle symbolizes a unit, a whole, or the heavens. The snake eating its tail also suggests the act of englobing. One entity contains another and is contained by another. For example, the atoms combine to form molecules, which come together to form cells. They in turn form tissues, and tissues form organs, which in turn form human beings, who come together to form civilizations, and so on and so forth. This other form of cycle could be compared to the emergence phenomena. Emergence is the arising of novel and coherent structures, patterns, and properties during the process process of self-organization in complex systems. The whole has properties that its parts do not have on their own. Emergence occurs practically everywhere, in the sciences, humanities,
Absolutely.
philosophy. In this form of Ouroboros, an entity combines with others to form a new entity. And this new entity will do the same thing, and the cycle continues. Say we could.
All right. You see how she drew the little pictures, the circles there? The way I envision that is one little hood booger gets with a Dusty. She becomes a dust mite and then has a whole bunch of dust mite, and they in one apartment, and then the girl next to her knows the same Dusty. And so it's just be like Dusty, 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 hood mite, hood rat, Dusty, hood rat, Dusty, hood rat, Dusty. And now you got the hood as a PJs right there. The Arrested Development encircled by the Ouroboros. Does that make sense to y'all? You feeling me? Because it is what it is. Every one of them pods is, you not gonna tell me, you not gonna do shit, nigga, you corny, nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga. Dust mites.
Scale back to view all that there is. Everything that exists would also be a unit in which virtually everything from physical to abstract share the same repetitive pattern of birth and death, for instance. A human being is subject to birth, growth, maturity, and death. So is civilization, or seasons. Scientists, along with many ancient myths, suggest that the universe also is born and eventually will die. Who knows, by then a new form of reality or existence would have been created. This would be analogous to humans passing on their genes before they die.
See?
Virtually everything that exists is
You create dust mite genes. You pass dust mite genes onto your little Dusties and Dustettes. They grow up Dusty, just like her diagram. It's a circle within a circle within a circle. Bad parent, bad kid, bad grandkid, bad great grandkid. We can only pray that somewhere throughout that someone breaks the chains of this trauma bond that y'all have created. Or that you have abandoned. Recklessly abandoned. Fucking weirdo. I don't know. That poor little baby does look like it got a little bit of condition on his poor little forehead there. Poor little baby, you need a shower.
created,
It might wash
subject
off the
to
dust
death,
mites.
and creates. Creation creates creation. And this means any type of creation.
We will build machines that are smarter than we are. And once we have machines that are smarter than we are, they will begin to improve themselves. So much more competent than we are that the slightest divergence between their goals and our own could destroy us.
Perhaps it is that fear that made God forbid
That's overly
Adam and
ambitious.
Eve from eating from the tree of knowledge. See, according to the Abrahamic creation myth, Adam and Eve were the first people on earth, created by God in his image. But they were innocent and unashamed of their nakedness, and spent their eternal days in the Garden of Eden, allowed to eat anything they wanted, except from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But one day a snake appeared and convinced them to eat the apple from that forbidden tree.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Boy, stop.
She said them. She said them. She was my girlfriend up until the point she said them. Eve ate the apple, girlfriend. Hold on. Look at that. It's in the closed caption. Look at that. What? The sisterhood got to her. I thought she was my girlfriend. Well, all right. Continue on.
A snake appeared and convinced them to eat the apple from that forbidden tree. When God found out, he banished them from the garden and condemned them to suffering and mortality. And he said, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil." It's highly disputed what knowledge of good and evil entails, but many scholars would agree that it's the overall awareness of the self, knowledge, and the yearning of knowledge, something that differentiates humans from everything else. Many believe that the snake is a symbol of evil, but here's where I offer another interpretation. Perhaps the encouragement of the snake is the force of the Ouroboros, which symbolizes nature's inevitable renewal. Adam and Eve were fated to eat from the tree of knowledge, to gain knowledge and evolve to such an extent that they, in turn, would create anew. They were also fated to become mortal, because for renewal to exist, there needs to be death. According to the Ouroboros, the only eternal thing is the cycle. Today, man's creation of AI is improving at an exponential rate. That these machines eat from the tree of knowledge, in other words, become human-like, may no longer be in our hands, but in those of the Ouroboros. Thank you so much for watching, guys. All the sources for this video can be found in the information.
All right. Shout out to Chasing Gods. That was awesome. That was awesome. Wait, let me hold up. Let me click that right quick. I got it on my other account. That was awesome. I like that. I like that. I like that explanation. I think it was a nice, fair, balanced explanation of the history of the Ouroboros. Some little gems to drop on you. Some little gems of knowledge to drop on you. But the Ouroboros is how I feel the evolution of society and communities are going. And it's creating shit. It's shit in and shit out. And it is basically collapse. It is a mental collapse. It is a societal collapse. It is a ethical collapse. So what I need to do here, give me 1 second.
Hi.
All right. What I need to do is I need to break this up a little bit, and I need to provide you guys with perspective on what happens when people in society, like, when they fuck around, right? Like, we're messing with the structure of our society. We're messing with the order of things. And we're falling to false gods. Pro-black hustlers, the Hotep hustlers, the uber feminist hustlers, body positivity grifters. I can't even count how many of them have been dead in the past year. One note gender war grifters, one note trauma bond grifters. And most of these are all on social media across the board. The trauma bonders are all over fucking TikTok. Hollywood stars, sports figures, entertainers, trauma prince and trauma princess family members. Y'all got them. I know I got them. The little trauma princes and trauma princesses. Everything is just, oh, it's so bad. The ones you built boundaries for because they're full of fuckery. Build the same boundaries up around these other fucks as well. And start thinking for yourself. I want you to know one funny thing that I just found out today. Disney stock is down by 10%. 10%. I don't know how many people out here are in ruin or are sad or I've lost millions of dollars. I think it's funny because they did the typical woke broke move and they just kept losing money. They were hemorrhaging money as a company and didn't stop it. You're not going to tell me. And Disney kept pumping out shit product. I mean, sometimes I want to pat people on the head because I pity them so bad because they're so fucking stupid. The aforementioned groups. A lot of the economic impact around us is due to y'all. Y'all sitting around here crying and whining. Ain't nobody out here working. I can't wait for the day an internet outage hits and all these motherfuckers that are sitting out here like, my main career is my social media and all I do is grift on one topic and I couldn't get in. I couldn't log in. Motherfucker, I got a day job. I think this shit's funny. It's fucking repulsive. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, Bronze Bird dropped information on this same exact shit. He had a whole fucking series 2 years ago. And you weird fucks are doing the same shit. Yeah, Miss Queen. They started marketing all kinds of spectrum, all kinds of things across the spectrum to children that don't need to be marketed to children. Nobody asked Disney to be a psychological guide. Nobody asked them to be the counselor to our children and what they feel as they grow up. Nobody asked the fucking entertainment industry to educate our goddamn kids. Peep game. American pop culture has gone morally bankrupt. I don't give a fuck about American pop culture. Fact. Most of my music I seek these days is from overseas. Most of the media I seek, YouTube. When I hear a good movie drop that I may be curious about, YouTube. I'll wait for Critical Drinker or somebody to fucking drop a review on the movie or whatever because I ain't going. I'm not giving them my fucking money. Black culture's dead. They done killed Big Mama and they put Aunt Jackie in her place. We got a few select Big Mamas in training right now. We got a few select women out here who are real guides, especially on fucking YouTube. The amount of whores out here, fuck. Feminism's so radical we can't think straight. They done morphed it back around 360 upon itself to where they got trans men now shattering their records in sports on an almost monthly basis. Feminism has wrapped around itself like a snake eating it. Pay attention to the screen, ladies and gentlemen. There's your feminism. This is what you've done to yourself. This is what you've done to yourself. Yeah, and you're right. You're right, Miss Queen. Men love whores. They absolutely do. That's why the whores capitalize in social media. Zyrex, yep. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And I'm about to go in on the parents here in 2 seconds. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. I got this face right here for the parents. Yeah. Big boy. One more again. That's the face I got for the parents. Yeah, and you're right though, Miss Queen. Men love the whores. I'm sick of that shit. I was in a chat and it was like somebody, man. It might have been like a Messy Michon or something. I don't know. It was like a day or something ago. I'm in this chat and I'm just watching what's going on. You know, they do want to react or whatever. And somebody in the chat, the woman was completely upside down in her entire life, in her entire existence. The typical stuff that we always be picking fun at and shaming. The 15 kids, 3 baby daddies, blah, blah, blah. And first thing in the chat, she's not that bad looking. Come the fuck on, man. Come the fuck on. Anyway, with all that being said, the one, but one key factor in all this is we have blatantly ignored mental health issues in this country. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. But we have blatantly ignored mental health issues in this country because it hurts people's feelings. To be marginalized, to be categorized, to be. Well, fun fact, fuckers, you're categorized in a database in some fucking government super secret silo somewhere in a fucking file as a fucking retard or not. Okay? As a fucking military member or not. As a potential terrorist or not. As a student or not. If you've given blood, if you've gone to a hospital, if you've applied for a job, if you've applied for a public service, they have your information. So to sit here and say, well, I don't want my information, nobody needs to know about me. They already do. I was in the chat somewhere. I don't remember. It was in the morning when, and people started getting on this DNA thing. I'd never give my DNA up. Well, I'd never give my DNA up. Even if they don't have a court order, they're going to get your DNA or already have it. You walk into an emergency room spilling your guts and bleeding everywhere. You're spilling DNA everywhere, dumb fuck. How do you think they crack cold cases? Dumb fuck. Stop with the tinfoil hat. They're never going to get my DNA. Okay, cool. Don't go to the dentist. Don't go to the doctor. Basically just stay fucking in your house. Fucking move on, people. You need to care more about your health. You need to care more about your mental health. You need to care more about what's going on around you because you're fucking shit up. Let's get into how you're fucking shit up. All right? I don't think y'all ready for this shit. I don't think y'all ready for this shit at all. Middle school professor, feminist, says trans kids are identifying as minotaurs as part of gender revolution. Medical school professor, feminist, says trans kids are identifying as minotaurs, are part of gender revolution. We got transformers pretending to be fucking minotaurs. I used to joke about the fact that I identify as fucking broccoli because I'm learning better diet habits, lost some weight, and I'm about to start lifting, doing some good things in my middle age. And I just be fucking off, trolling. I identify as broccoli. You can't do that shit no more, obviously. A California hospital executive and professor claimed children can identify as a mythologically inspired creature and claimed that this category of children love mermaids, according to a presentation reviewed by Fox Digital News. Diane Ernshaft, a self-identified feminist who supports a gender revolution, is the director of mental health. The director of mental health. We have let the inmates run the asylum. We have let the retards run the mental health facilities. Full stop. Fucking minotaurs. Fuck am I seeing right now? Her biography page reflected that Ernshaft's focus, her research on how genders before puberty develop, as well as the mental health effects of puberty blockers, blah, 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 blah. More bullshit pushed upon our kids. Studied our fucking kids. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fucking... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake. Got that strong jaw like her father. Fuck. I totally agree that we are in the midst of a gender revolution and children are leading it. Children are leading it. Children are leading our gender revolution. We just projected this shit on kids. Yo, that's what we're doing out here? You see what happens when you swing social pendulums? You pieces of shit. Fucking wake up. Ernstaf believes the transgender revolution is on the next phase of the 60s feminist movement, which featured challenging stereotypes about gender. Excuse me, weird bitch. That was because there were two genders. Gender is a spectrum.
We don't do that here.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. She introduced language such as gender fluid, non-binary, and gender expansive. She then predicted the language will evolve beyond that and cited her conversation with a 7-year-old as proof that there can be gender minotaurs and hybrids. She cited her conversation with a 7-year-old. I'm sorry, this perverted fuck just exploited a kid. What? I mean, that's what it looks like to me. As you know, language is political, so what's good today will be politically incorrect tomorrow, so we'll just keep changing as we go, says Ernsaft. This is a whole group of kids you all should know about. A boy twirled into my office the other and said, "You see, I'm a Prius. I'm a boy in the front and I'm a girl in the back." What the fuck? Yo, what the fuck? I got nothing. Yo, I got nothing. I've read this 4 times now. This one time with you guys. I'm not going to read any more of this, but all I'm going to say is, and, shout out to Zyrax because earlier they mentioned that entertainment's raising kids. Yeah, absolutely. Entertainment's raising kids and the fucking inmates from the asylum are raising our kids. You serious right now? Hey, yo, the last record I seen shattered was like a deadlift record, I think. Somebody should go Google that and peep that out. Pardon me. But I think a deadlift record was just shattered by the Transformers. More than meets the eye. They just shit on the women's deadlift record, if I'm not mistaken. Like they got all the different divisions, this, that, and the other, 50 different fucking letters for whatever goddamn division it is. So some fucking division just got their asses handed to them by the patriarchy. The patriarchy. You feminist fucks are so upside down. You have gone so radical and then swung the pendulum so far you can't see straight. Everything's now coming back around to spit in your face and to attack our children. Yo, you really need to think about what the fuck you're asking about from society. What you're asking for out here. The jobs and wages and fairness and not getting fucking punched down in the fucking alley. Fucking human rights. Yes, that's fine. But what the fuck are we really asking for right now? How far outside of the lines of normacy do you weird fucks want to draw? Remember that part? Beginning of the whole podcast. You're sitting in a room. You got a piece of paper, a stack of paper, and you got a box of crayons. Y'all fucks are the children that never grew up. Y'all fucks are the ones with no knowledge, no experience, and have never faced real adversity that has adjusted your way of thinking and growing and evolving in life. Again, I'm going to take attendance again because I see some of y'all are arriving late. Where my pro-black hustlers? Where my hoteps, uber feminists, body positivity grifters, one-note gender war fucks? Where my Hollywood, sports figures, entertainers, all y'all weird-ass motherfuckers? All y'all do is project trauma and ridiculous expectations. Or excuse me, machinations out on the public. And you have wrapped our children into this bullshit. Fuck you, Disney. I know I got plenty of people with stock in Disney, and, you know, respect due. I'm sorry if your portfolio got hit this week, bro, but fuck Disney. We have normalized outright fuckery. Shout out to the banning of Fresh Fit Sneeko. Whatever happens to Kai, shout out. Have some fucking standards, you weird fucks. You have actually got a generation accepting the fact that y'all are some fucking weird retards. Fucks like you, Tide Pod eating motherfuckers. Tide Pod ass eating motherfuckers out here, and the parents don't do shit about it. Y'all think it's fucking funny because y'all ignorant as fuck. Again, Ouroboros eating its tail, shit in, shit out. No wonder y'all ass eaters out here. No wonder that's a fad. You weird fucks get paid off of reactionary and mind-numbing, ignorant content. You're hanging yourselves. The entertainment industry is bogus, bro. It's not the wave like that. It's time to start being something different. It's time to grow the fuck up. And for those of us are young that consume that shit, fucking parents, what the fuck are you doing? You don't parent. Society's going to parent for you. The fuck are you doing? Yo, a bunch of niggas got mad at me. Somebody got mad at me. I don't give a fuck who it was. And I mentioned this before on Facebook because I said, yo, bro, your 20-year-old daughter's a jump off. Bro, why are you mad at me? If she's not a jump off for somebody that's 20 years old, somebody my age is going to swoop her. Now, I'm not saying your daughter or your daughter, but I'm saying your daughter. So fucking pay attention to what your kids are. Oh, my precious, I used to change her diapers and that was my firstborn. And oh my God, she's my oldest. Fuck you. Fuck you to your face. If you're not out here guarding and covering for your daughters, for your children, if you're not out here guiding your men, they're just going to fall to whatever the fuck they want to. So don't be surprised if he's wearing a fucking dress and she's getting run through. Or she's the next junior college drop off for niggas my age. Jump off. You know what I mean? Either way. You ain't shit. Was it Houston got 128% increase since 2019 of STDs, syphilis? That's what y'all doing. Sucking and fucking. Don't give a fuck about your kids. You could be teaching them something. You could be preparing them not to be sucking and fucking getting sores all over their mouth and genital areas. Because you're not telling me it's just, everybody down there is single with no children. Fuck you, really? This choice. I could live my life. Cool. Continue eating ass. Continue being that Arrested Development, because I'm going to make fun of you. I'm going to shame you to no end because I enjoy that shit. Because you ain't shit. Rise above. Rise above. So here's my thing. And it's always been my thing. Everybody's always had choices. Even the ones you weren't prepared for. Once you're in the midst of it, you in the midst of it. I ain't never been on a roller coaster that I could say, hold on, Mr. Operator. Let's stop the roller coaster because we're about to go over this and I just can't do that. Momentum is momentum, motherfucker. But you got them kids out here. It is your sole purpose and providence to make sure that they are protected and covered. The kids. Fuck the nigga, fuck the bitch. Half y'all motherfuckers can't get along anyway. And 30 y'all can't get along. Loudmouth motherfuckers. The ones that's married and happily married and been married, they already know what the deal is. The ones that got the shared parenting, they already know what the deal is. The rest of y'all, what the fuck are you doing? Fuck are you doing? Everybody act like they brand new. Like ain't nobody before you done it. And we got the internet. And you got a motherfucking cell phone, top of the line motherfucking iPhone 15 coming out in September. And you got this. And you got internet. And you got broadband in your house. And you got the iPhone tab. And you got an iPad. But you don't know shit. Ouroboros. The snake eating its tail. But look, y'all, that is it for tonight. I could get into some more fuckery, but I'm not going to make it too long for this evening. I got a big day tomorrow. But I want to say shout outs to Zyrax. I want to say shout out to Bronze Flat. I see you out there, bro. Thanks for stopping through. Miss Queen, as always, little sis, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm on one tonight. Yeah, Zyrax, school is supposed to teach you how to read, write, math, laws, etc. Academically, home is supposed to teach you values. Yes. Home is supposed to teach you values and the soft skills. Your father teaches you how to do the manual intensive stuff and the things that are relevant to today's world. Okay, I can't say that every man's going to grow up the same way I did, where you've been taking care of a garden, where you've taken care of where you've worked underneath a car at 6 o'clock in the morning because the automotive spot's going to open up at 8 o'clock and you got to get the part out and you got to make sure that you got everything ready to get there. You know what I'm saying? Or go to your uncle's house and help him put drywall up and remodel his entire crib. We're not going to necessarily learn all those soft skills, but there are other skills that are relevant to being a man. There are skills at home that should be taught that are relevant to being a woman. And even if it's vice versa and swapped in between and the parents flip the kids in the air one day and one kid goes one way and the other kid goes the other way and they learn both soft skills. It's what you're supposed to do at home. And the power of having both parents there. I came from a broken home, but I had a good foundational youth, a sub, 12, 13-year-old youth. And that was a gem for me because it gave me a boost to get started in life and have those soft skills that I could build upon. But exactly, it is not to be taught in school. That dedication, what I was talking about, that focus, sit your little ass down with this box of crayons and this paper and complete something. The soft skills, the things that keep people in line, the things that keep us focused, the understanding from a parent who knows us, teaches us how to focus our little people energies, because little people's crazy as fuck. Hey, Mona D, thanks for stopping by. Yo, Zyrax, I appreciate you. Definitely subscribe. I appreciate you for sure. My schedule is a little helter-skelter because I do have a 9 to 5 and I have some social commitments. So I give back to the community in my own way. So I'm not always on streaming, but you will definitely see, ring the bell when you see my notifications pop up. And, I hope to provide you with a good show. Like, it's all about the fact that, and I mentioned this in my last podcast, I don't watch too much regular TV, right? I catch the highlights and the updates on YouTube. So if I'm going to be a content creator like Mona D and Miss Queen, Killer Swag, another one, if we're going to out here and we're being good creators, like, I'm going to put quality out here. I'm going to put thought-provoking stuff out here. I'm a little more philosophical, and I be daydreaming about like, yo, what if? Well, why? Well, look, why? I'm always asking questions. It's all about the evolution, discovery, and the dialogue. Yeah, my shit be kind of angsty. Yes, I do got a lot of pent-up frustration for society and for individual behaviors. Yes, I have seen a nasty spectrum of negative behaviors in my own social circles and family. And then just existing in life as a human, it continues on. It's cyclical, much like the Ouroboros here on the screen. Not only is it this year somebody does something stupid, but next year somebody does the same thing stupid. The content of life writes itself. And I feel that my place in the whole equation is to help educate and shame. I don't care about the shame. I think it's funny because these people are ridiculous. So enjoy every show that you see. Check out my old podcast. I do have some interviews out there as well. I'm going to be working on some interviews coming up for the winter time. I also have my game channel. So I will not be angsty over there. That's where we're going to have some fun. I'm going to have me some fun. We're going to have some fun over there. Give me 1 second. I get the link. There we go. Pause. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to put the link in the chat. That's the link to the gaming channel. We're going to do gaming. We're going to do hobbies over there. That's where I'm going to be focusing a lot of the hobby-related interviews and bringing on interviews, doing streaming interviews as well. I'm going to try to do some on the ground interviews as well as those. So you can't shame grown folks. Shame doesn't exist in a technologically advanced society. You are correct. So I'm just going to be picking fun and bullying on people. So you're correct. So I have to change that word. You are correct, sis. You're right. You're right. You provided me that perspective. But I'm definitely going to bully them fuckers. Oh. But yeah, on the gaming channel, it's going to be the lighter side of stuff. We're not going to do that because look, gaming, when you say gaming, kids are like, "Ooh, gaming, yeah." And you know what I'm saying? I don't want younger people to be necessarily exposed to the graphic nature of the discussions on Culture Invasion podcast. So we're going to do that. That's why I've diversified the business, the beardness. Otherwise, everyone, one love. Thank you very much for being out here tonight. Catch the replay. Yes, it's an angsty one. Yes, I'm pissed off at society. Yes, I don't have answers. And yes, I'm punching clouds and punching air like Cuba Gooding Jr., but it feels good. And I enjoy the time I spend with y'all. Big up yourselves. Have a good night.
Wanna be the good guy. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. niggas talking about? Flipping birds, but don't know how many grams in it. You a shooter, but you never ever killed nothing. These silly motherfuckers always gotta stay frontin'. If I did it, then I talk it and I live it. And jealous rappers always acting like women. Never worried about a hater, man, I love you niggas. I ain't beefing with nobody, rather come up with you. I'm the gas in the middle of the switches. On your ass for that cash, I'ma get you. Been blessed, no stress, man, I'm good, nigga. Don't test, I'm a mess, I really pull triggers. But only if I have to. I don't wanna be the bad dude. Why you steady acting like you really gangsta? Bosses making moves, just learn the game, bruh. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. Wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. Wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy.
I ain't lucky, real shit don't interrupt me. These niggas ain't shooters, they feel safe for playing rugby. But that ain't the point, this one calls for a joint. This life is a gamble, two-sided, good or bad, flip the coin. Ain't you glad that the odds on your side, don't be mad. That negative shit whack, let me bring it back. That negative shit whack, hit them hard like crack, it crazy, take a vacate, just know I'm coming back. Sharper than attack, what you think of that? Check a GMB set, we all want the cheese, but ain't none of us a rat. Would you believe me if I told you I'm a crack baby? That shit happen every day, not just back in the 80s. Thinking about sunny days that done turn shady. God been looking out, cause to this day I got no babies. And probably never will, cause nowadays they don't want ladies. No competition, I'm biting down like I got rabies. No, I'm a savage, license to carry, now try to make me think you can test me, don't try to rush me, I get the bussin'. You watch my back, I watch yours, that's who I got my trust in. And if somebody do dirt, they crib, we bout to bust in.
Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. You wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy. Everybody gangsta nowadays. Just wanna be the bad guy. Wanna be the bad guy. The real goons come your way. So they come your way. You wanna be the good guy. Wanna be the good guy.
Thank you.